Most people try to buy a business by scrolling through brokers' listings, which means they miss out because the best businesses are sold before they ever get listed. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to find your first business to buy and where to actually look by guiding a fellow business buyer through the process using a simple approach you can copy. And here's that conversation.
The next point I made was just about lead generation and general deal flow. Do you go to brokers for yours, or do you, a lot mentioned going through LinkedIn? Some of the other people who are doing business acquisition courses, they mention either LinkedIn or in some cases direct mail or cold calling.
Right. So I think the more options, the better,
Yeah,
because the important thing is, I will admit, I made many mistakes. I became a motivated buyer. You
right.
don't want to be a motivated buyer. You want to find motivated sellers.
Seller. Yeah,
Okay. So the more you find, the more the merrier, because then you've got options. Now, not really looked at LinkedIn at all. Well, put it this way, I'm not absolutely looking for a business to buy. Having said that, I'll caveat that this is a classic case of how you can find a business. I was talking to an accountant colleague of mine, and I just happened to ask him, how is business? And he said, oh, well, we've blah, blah, blah. We've got a couple of businesses for sale. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I asked him about those two businesses. He's got this one business, 5 million turnover, £500,000 profit, fantastic business. Now, he didn't know at this point that I was even interested in buying it. He wasn't selling it to me because I didn't sell when I buy it. He was just explaining the business. He said, the two guys are retiring. One's got ill health. They have tried to sell it with brokers, but the brokers have overvalued it. There's a surprise. That's the problem. They always overvalue it. I think they'd used, I think it was something like an 8 times multiple. So they're never going to sell it at that. So I thought, that sounds like a fantastic deal. So I've actually potentially going to move that forward. And I wasn't even looking. Okay. So that's how you can find it. So,
sure.
yes, by all means, use LinkedIn. Don't discount brokers because the business I bought or looked at were through brokers. Now, use that with a bit of a pinch of salt because oftentimes they get to being with a broker because the business owner has got, I wouldn't say desperate, but they haven't been approached. Because let me tell you, have you ever had a business or been in that position at all?
I have had a business, but I started it. I was one of the founders of the business, and we built
Okay.
it. When I sold out, I was a partner in the business that I sold. So now
Okay.
I'm looking to. I don't want to do another startup. Essentially, I want to
Okay.
just cut that out and buy into a business.
The reason I ask you is because I've been in a position where I want to sell two of my businesses. So I've been on both sides of this coin. The first one was my accounting practice, and I did do that through a broker. My other one I sold to, it was a business I bought. I sold it to my staff, but I was keen to sell, and I did go through a broker to start off with. But leading up to it, it took me a long time because I'm thinking, I don't want my competitors to know. I don't want customers to find out. I don't want my staff to find out at this point in time. So I fought with this whole thing for a long, long time, but I wanted to sell. Now,
Yeah,
had a letter landed on my desk at that moment in time, that would have been the perfect
yeah,
opportunity for that person. So that's why I think because I've been on the other side of that coin, I think direct mail is probably one of the best options to use. So definitely
okay,
use that.
yeah,
The other area which I've just touched on is networking. So the obvious ones are accountants, which I've just talked about, solicitors, because solicitors deal with divorces. You might have a couple in there divorcing, and part of the divorce process is the business. And he might say to them, well, what do you want to do? Well, we don't want the business anymore. We want to sell it or whatever. So solicitors, IFAs potentially. And then you could, whether there's any business clubs or what have you, but I think it's just getting yourself out there
yeah,
because the more you've got coming to you, deal pipeline, deal flow, whatever you want to call that, the more opportunities and the better you're going to get at. You've got to get. Have you actually been out and met any owners yet?
Not met. I've had first calls with 3.
Okay.
And I'm meeting my first one not next week, the week after.
Oh wow, cool. Okay, exciting.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, I'm going through a certain number of questions on the call, and in the meantime, I'm doing the scratching the surface of due diligence. But it is.
What sort of size of business, if you don't mind me asking, Gareth?
Okay, so I'm looking for small and medium-sized engineering businesses.
Okay.
I'm looking for them in the East or West Midlands. I'm looking ideally a turnover of between 1 and 2.5 million, but I would go down to about 700, 750 turnover if it was profitable, and also if there was a good staffing ratio so that I could put somebody directly in rather than I am actually an engineer. That's my.
Oh, okay. Hence,
I went to university as an engineer, but I haven't done it in a while. So I would want to put somebody in on day-to-day running.
So that's how I'd approach finding deals. But now let's bring this back to you. If you need help with your own journey to buy a business, from finding deals to structuring the purchase, follow the link below to book your free Zoom session, just like this one. And now that you know where to find good businesses to buy, you massively improve the quality of the opportunities you see. But what happens when you finally find one you like? How do you move forward without handing over all your cash up front? Watch this video next and I'll show you how to structure the deal so the seller helps fund the purchase.